And I dug up the tailings from this gold room and reran that, and I picked up 9 ounces.
Chris, you're paying for some bills.
Parker Schnabel is risking everything to build an empire in the Klondike.
Parker Schnabel's crew is making staggering money in 2025. These miners battle freezing winds, endless mud, and grueling shifts just to keep the gold flowing. How much they actually earn has been a debate among fans until now. Could their paychecks make up for the backbreaking labor, or is the gold rush dream not as rewarding as it seems? Tune in, because the truth about their salaries will make you leave everything behind and try your luck in the gold mining industry. The harsh reality of gold mining pay. For those fresh on Parker's crew, the pay isn't exactly rolling in like a gold rush jackpot. New workers, often called greenhorns, are stuck working 75-hour weeks. That's not a typo, 75 hours. For about 6 months of non-stop digging, shoveling, and heavy machinery handling, these newbies make roughly 34 Canadian dollars an hour. Sounds decent, right? But when you do the math, after months of sweat and exhaustion, they walk away with around $65,000 before taxes. And once living costs and Uncle Sam take their cut, they might see closer to $40,000. For all that effort, it's a tough way to earn a paycheck. Before we dig any deeper, it's clear that the reality of Parker's crew salaries is far more brutal than it seems, and this won't be the only thing that will leave you stunned. Gold mining isn't just about digging dirt and hoping for the best, it's a high-stakes job where only the toughest survive. Some crew members scrape by, but the seasoned experts, the ones trusted with operating the biggest machines, bring in serious paychecks. These workers handle equipment that weighs more than 50 tons, moving massive piles of earth every single day. Their skill and experience don't go unnoticed, and some of them can make close to $500,000 in a single year. That's the kind of money that makes the grueling hours worth it, but it comes at a price. These professionals don't just work hard, they live and breathe mining. Every move they make keeps the operation running, and if they mess up, everything could fall apart. The pressure is relentless and every decision matters. When millions of dollars in gold are on the line, there's no room for error. But let's talk about what it actually takes to keep things moving. The shifts are brutal. 12 hours straight, day after day, with no time to slow down. It's not just for a few weeks or months, it's the entire season. And if you think things get easier as time goes on, you're in for a surprise. As the days grow shorter, the schedule shifts, but the workload never lightens. The crew wakes up before the sun rises and doesn't stop until long after it sets. The extreme cold, the heavy equipment, and the constant pressure to produce make every shift a battle. Missing even one day could throw the whole operation off track, and in this business, losing time means losing money. Every second counts, and there's no room for mistakes. Then there's the question of bonuses, which is where things get even trickier. Parker has been open about how much he pays his team, but when it comes to extra cash for hitting gold targets, the details are unclear. Some crew members might get hefty payouts if they hit the right numbers, while others work just as hard and walk away with nothing but exhaustion. It's a system that rewards the best but keeps everyone fighting for a chance to stand out. The reality is no one knows exactly how much they'll make until the season ends. It's a gamble, and only the strongest can handle the uncertainty. So why do they do it? Because for those who can take the heat, the rewards can be life-changing. But not everyone makes it to the finish line. The ones who do, they're the ones who refuse to quit no matter how tough it gets. But for those who can handle the hard work, the money can be life-changing, which is why Parker and his team keep coming back every year. The hidden costs of mining for gold. Money talks, but in the Klondike it shouts. Imagine working your tail off for 75 hours a week, only to pull in around 40,000 Canadian dollars when all is said and done. Sounds decent, right? But factor in government cuts, camp expenses, and the brutal conditions, and that paycheck suddenly doesn't seem so hefty. For those grinding in Parker Schnabel's mining crew, the cash is there, but only if you can keep up with back-breaking work and the never-ending pressure to dig up more gold. Now let's get real. Bonuses can sweeten the deal, but Parker keeps those numbers locked up like Fort Knox. Some reports whisper that miners can rack up an extra chunk of change based on performance, but no one outside the operation truly knows the formula. What is clear, though, is that gold hauls fluctuate daily, and if you're on the right crew, a solid payout might be waiting. But let's not forget, the Yukon isn't handing out gold nuggets on a silver platter. The work is relentless, the risks are sky high, and only those with pure grit make it to the finish line with a respectable sum. And then there's TV money. If you're lucky enough to get featured on an episode of Gold Rush, your bank account might see a much-needed boost. Cameo appearances can net miners up to 25,000 Canadian dollars per spot, turning that grueling work into something more lucrative. But here's the kicker: those appearances are few and far between. Only a handful of workers get their moment under the lights, leaving the rest to sweat it out in the shadows, while Discovery rakes in millions from eager viewers tuning in each week. Specialized operators? Now they're in a whole different league. These are the folks who know how to handle the monstrous machines that keep the mine running 24/7. Running massive rigs and hauling endless loads of dirt isn't for the faint of heart, but those who master it rake in serious dough. Some of Parker's top rock truck drivers reportedly make an eye-watering 440,000 Canadian dollars a year, over 3 times what the average grunt takes home. It sounds like a dream gig, but don't be fooled. These guys battle extreme terrain, navigate narrow cliffside paths, and haul thousands of tons of rock like clockwork. One mistake, you're in serious trouble. It's high risk, high reward, and only the toughest stick around long enough to cash in big. Keeping that mine running is no joke, and Parker knows it. He's got an empire to maintain, a legacy to protect, and a gold quota that won't meet itself. Every season, the goal is the same: haul in at least 4,000 ounces of gold, worth $6 million. Failure isn't an option, and that kind of pressure trickles down to every single worker on site. From the new recruits barely scraping by to the seasoned vets running multi-million-dollar machines, everyone is grinding to make sure Parker keeps striking it rich. And what about living conditions? Well, let's just say it's not exactly 5-star comfort. Miners bunk up in tight quarters, dealing with harsh weather and long days, all for the chance at a solid payday. But for rookies hoping to break into the industry, it's a trade-off they're willing to make. Housing is covered, food is provided, and the tight-knit community keeps morale just high enough to push through another grueling shift. It's rough, it's tough, and it takes a certain kind of person to thrive in it. So is it worth it? That depends. If you're built for endless hours of exhaustion, high-stakes pressure, and a payout that might be good but never quite enough, then maybe. But if you think striking gold is easy money, think again. The Klondike doesn't care who you are. Only the strongest survive, and even they walk away battered, bruised, and wondering if they'll do it all over again next season. Even when the season ends, the pressure doesn't stop. Because in the Yukon, a new challenge is always around the corner. What it takes to survive in gold mining. Mining in the Yukon isn't just a job, it's a full-body battle against nature, exhaustion, and the never-ending pressure to hit gold targets. Crews burn through an outrageous number of calories every single shift, pushing their bodies through grueling 12-hour days in sub-zero temperatures with barely a break to breathe. The only thing standing between them and complete burnout? Hot meals every 6 hours, keeping their energy up and their focus razor sharp. When you're handling massive machines worth more than most houses, running on fumes isn't an option. One slip-up could cost a fortune. Even on their days off, workers don't waste time chasing down food in town. Instead, they regroup, eat well, and gear up for another round of high-stakes digging. But let's be real. While Parker Schnabel takes care of room and board, Uncle Sam is always waiting to take his cut. Taxes don't care how hard you work or how many hours you've put in. Even those earning 6 figures operating Parker's fleet end up seeing their paychecks shrink once the government claims its share. Still, having food, housing, and utilities covered allows miners to stack their savings, which is rare in a job this demanding. And for Parker, keeping his workforce happy and well-fed is just smart business. Workers who feel taken care of don't leave, and in a brutal industry like this, experienced hands are worth their weight in gold. As the season pushes forward, there's no room for slowing down. Every ounce of gold counts, and the Yukon's frozen grip waits for no one. The harsh winter crashes in by the end of October, shutting down operations whether miners have hit their goals or not. After nearly half a year of backbreaking labor, crews finally get their forced 5-month break, a crucial time to recover before the next gold rush begins. The relentless 75-hour work weeks take their toll, and nothing beats heading home to spend the holidays with family, away from the constant roar of engines and the biting cold. But for many, the pull of the Yukon is too strong to resist. The best workers return year after year, knowing that staying ahead of the competition means outworking everyone else. Parker himself is no exception. Even during the off-season, he's never truly at rest. With 4,000 ounces of gold as his target, failure isn't an option. He spends his downtime analyzing every mistake, poring over maps, and tweaking his mining strategy. The Yukon doesn't forgive wasted time, and every small edge matters. His trusted foreman Dietz is out in the field scouting, using everything from old-fashioned instincts to satellite data to pinpoint the next big gold strike. The combination of cutting-edge tech and raw experience keeps Parker's team on top, but there's never a moment to relax. Other miners, some just as hungry for success, are always circling, waiting for any slip-up to take their shot. By the time spring rolls around, the pressure is back on. Last season's records mean nothing when the new rush begins. March marks the start of another all-or-nothing race, millions of dollars hanging in the balance. This is what separates the legends from the dreamers. Those who hesitate get left behind. Parker knows this better than anyone. The Yukon doesn't care about past wins, it only rewards those who can keep up with its brutal pace. For those looking from the outside, the money seems too good to be true. Parker once revealed how much his crew makes, and it sent shockwaves through the industry. But mining pay isn't as straightforward as a regular paycheck. The final earnings of any worker depend on the season's success. If gold production is high, the rewards are massive, but if things go south, so do the bonuses. Government rules limit the time miners have to work, and any equipment breakdowns or bad weather can wipe out profits in an instant. Even rising diesel prices put a dent in Parker's bottom line, with every extra dollar spent on fuel cutting into potential payouts. It's a high-risk, high-reward game, and there's no safety net. Every dollar spent needs to be accounted for well in advance. Between equipment leases, permit fees, and constant repairs, Parker's operation runs on a tight margin. There's no room for mistakes, but for those who can handle the grind, the payoff is unlike anything else. It's what keeps Parker, his team, and his competitors coming back season after season, risking everything for another shot at Yukon gold. But the biggest question is, no matter how much gold they find, is all the hard work really worth it? The real pay of a Yukon miner. Money talks, but in the world of gold mining, it can be downright confusing. A recent salary revelation got people buzzing, but let's not pretend those numbers tell the full story. When salary estimates were thrown out for North American TV audiences, something big got lost in translation. Currency differences. That jaw-dropping $440,000 for a rock truck operator? Not so fast. Up north, with today's exchange rates, that figure shrinks closer to $340,000. And those eager entry-level miners expecting $65,000? Well, after conversions, deductions, and all the usual financial traps, their take-home pay slides well under $50,000. Now, before you start thinking that's still decent money for 6 months of work, let's talk about what's lurking beneath the surface. The financial side of gold mining isn't just about stacking cash, it's about how much of it you actually get to keep. Enter the real troublemakers: taxes and unpredictable markets. Before any crew member pockets a dime, federal and payroll deductions take their pound of flesh. Add in the constant currency fluctuations, and those once massive paychecks suddenly don't look so impressive. Sure, the pay still beats an office job, but only if you're willing to battle exhaustion, mechanical failures, and the brutal Alaskan wild. This is where the reality check sets in. On a good season, when the gold flows, the crew gets paid well. But in bad years, the money tightens up real quick. Mother Nature, equipment breakdown, supply cost, every single factor decides how much makes it into a miner's pocket. The truth? The mining business is a gamble, and even sharing salary figures is rare. Most outfits would rather keep their finances locked up tight. Transparency gives a peek behind the curtain, but let's be honest, no one outside the crew really knows the whole picture. People still line up, waiting for their turn to dig in those trenches. But why? The dream of striking gold is as powerful as ever, even when reality is much harsher than they expect. More than 100 years ago, hopeful prospectors rushed into the Yukon, believing they could find instant riches. Some did, but most lost everything. Today, the tools are different. Giant machines, television cameras, and paychecks. But the challenge is still the same. Back then, people gambled their lives without knowing if they would survive. Now they at least have a paycheck if they can handle the brutal season ahead. But here's what makes it even harder. No two seasons are alike. Some years, the team pulls gold from the ground like it's endless, making their efforts look easy. Other years, the land fights back with everything it has. Equipment breaks, weather turns against them, and even the best-laid plans fall apart. The new workers who show up may think they know what they're in for, but they don't. The question isn't just if they can handle the work, it's if they can handle the constant setbacks. 16-hour shifts, exhausting labor, freezing winds, and absolutely no guarantees. Gold mining sounds like a dream, but the price you pay is more than just sweat. It's everything you have. Why do people keep coming back, ready to face the cold, the exhaustion, and the never-ending uncertainty? Maybe they see the gold mining life as an adventure, something thrilling that will push them beyond their limits. Or maybe they look at one man's success and think, if he did it, maybe I can too. Some are drawn in by the idea of pulling real gold from the ground with their own hands, feeling that rush of excitement when they see those first golden flecks in the pan. Others hold on to the dream that just one lucky strike will be enough to change their entire future. But no matter what brings them here, one thing is certain. This is not the easy road to riches they imagine. There is no guarantee of wealth, no promise that the hard work will pay off. The land does not give up its gold without a fight. Some years, thousands of ounces are hauled in, proving that determination and grit can turn dirt into fortune. Other years, the ground refuses to cooperate, swallowing machines in thick mud, breaking expensive equipment, and testing even the most experienced miners. For those who sign up, the question is not just whether they can handle the grueling labor, but whether they can survive the constant setbacks. They wake up before the sun rises and work until long after it sets. The cold bites at their fingers, their backs ache from endless digging, and exhaustion becomes a constant companion. 16-hour days are the norm, and the work is never easy. The gold might be there, hidden deep beneath the surface, but will they last long enough to find it? So why do they stay? Why do people keep coming back season after season, knowing how much it will take out of them? Maybe it is the idea of proving themselves, of pushing their bodies and minds to the limit just to say they did it. Maybe it is the hope that this time they will be the ones to strike it rich. Or maybe for some, it is just about being part of something bigger, standing shoulder to shoulder with a team, facing the land together and refusing to give up. But not everyone will make it. Some will pack up and leave after a few weeks, unable to handle the cold, the exhaustion, or the crushing weight of disappointment. Some will stick it out for an entire season, only to realize they were never meant for this kind of life. And then there are the few, the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who learn to fight through the struggle, the ones who understand that gold is never easy to claim. Are Parker Schnabel's crew members making a fortune, or are they being pushed to their limits for far less than they deserve? Is the gold rush dream still alive, or is it just a tough job with no real reward? Some say the pay is fair, while others believe it's nowhere near enough for the brutal conditions they endure. What do you think? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.